All right, Jay, so what's your status for tonight's game?
I got to be honest with you, man. I think I'm doubtful for tonight. What about you?
Yeah, I'm out indefinitely.
What's going on? This is Kobe Bryant, and you're watching STNTV.
It's Voice of the Nation Fast Break right here on STNTV alongside Jason Rowley. My name is David Brickley. The Lakers went to the Alamo, and they come back to the City of Angels down 0-2. They lost both games, Jay, by double digits.
The most frustrating thing for me isn't necessarily that they lost both those games.
Right.
It's been the non-emergence of Dwight Howard. I thought he was going to turn into the Dwight Howard of old. I thought he was going to put up 30 and 20, be the guy that led the 2009 Orlando Magic to the finals, be the guy we thought we were getting in Los Angeles before the season started. Kobe's not on the floor. That frees up not just 30 shots a game, that's freeing up the focal point of the offense. I would have loved to see Dwight have a monster game. He had the opposite of that in Game 2. Dumb fouls, dumb mistakes, and more than anything, he just didn't lead this team. And I think if anything happened in San Antonio I'm frustrated about, it's that.
Yeah, well, listen, Dwight's right around his season average of 18 and 12, but I get what you're saying. The guy should be getting 25 and 15 simply because shots are freed up and he should be the focal point of the offense. I think Gasol's done well, 15, 13, and 5 in the first two in San Antonio. But I think that, and I got to defend Dwight a little bit. Game 2 was pretty ridiculous. But Dwight's passing out of double teams to a guy who looks like he's 70 years old and Steve Nash. I mean, God bless Steve Nash. The guy's laboring up. He's having cortisone shots, epidurals. He's trying to get away to help this team, but he's almost hurting the team out there. And then he's also passing the guys out there on the three-point line like Darius Morris.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard for the Spurs to respect those dudes when they're really not getting it done from the outside and not really allowing Dwight Howard to get some room to operate down low.
But I don't think that it's the Lakers have to go down into San Antonio and win both those games. It's they didn't compete. And if you look at this Lakers roster, it's not that terrible. We're not talking about you take Kobe off the roster and they're the Charlotte Bobcats. They still have a superstar in Dwight Howard. They still have a perennial all-star in Pau Gasol. Meta World Peace isn't terrible. Their bench isn't terrible.
But let me psychologically break this down for a second. Call me Dr. Brickley for just 1 second.
I will not call you Dr.
I think
Brickley.
everybody has to agree that the Lakers playoffs started a couple months ago. I mean, they had to put together a crazy run in order to get into the playoffs and beat out Utah. So just the fact that they went through that run, beat out Utah, final game against Houston goes into overtime, all that stuff happens.
Yep.
You have to admit there has to be some kind of psychological sigh of relief that they got that part done. And then your star, your leader, tears his Achilles and he's out for the season. I mean, the emotion for the Lakers right now, I just assume it's not about going out there and beating San Antonio. It's A, we lost our star, and B, wow, what a run that was. Thank God we made it into the dance.
Well, I'm not eliminating any of that. Obviously, it's terrible that we lost Kobe Bryant. The Lakers are without their superstar. Nobody came into this series and said, there's no doubt the Lakers, they're going to beat the Spurs. We're sure of it. But I think we all came into this series and thought, the Lakers have a chance here. The Spurs, they've been banged up too.
But not because of how good the Lakers are, because the Spurs are not as good as their record may seem.
No, but then you
look
at Dwight Howard and Pau Gasol healthy. Inside, they have a major advantage.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan's 107 years old. He's the same age as Steve Nash.
But they have a major advantage with Duncan, Parker, and the big X factor here, Jay, with Ginobili. Limited to 20 minutes per game, but 20 minutes per game, he's still putting up a point per minute. I mean, that's the X factor. Plus, you've got Kawhi Leonard, Bonner. They've all been healthy. They've all been able, to get a little bit of rhythm. So that's big. I thought the Lakers might have a chance in this series without Kobe, just because the Spurs were going to suck because they had injuries. But they're looking.
The bottom line is we expected the Lakers to struggle against the Spurs. Nobody thought the Lakers were going to come in and run this series, but we did expect them to be competitive, and to this point they haven't been, and we can make all the excuses about injuries and whatever, but if they go back to Staples Center tonight and they lose, and then they lose on Sunday in Game 4 and get swept out of the playoffs, I don't care who's hurt. You have Dwight Howard and Pau Gasol on your team. That should be good enough for at least one win at home, and if it's not, that's an embarrassment.
So I'll throw it to you. What's a percentage chance that you think the Lakers will come back and win this series?
Now, I'm not saying I think the Lakers are going to come back and win the series. I think it's a huge, long shot. If I had to say, I'd say 10% chance the Lakers come back and win.
I'm giving it a 1% chance the Lakers will come back and win this series, particularly because in the beginning of the season, you brought in Steve Nash, and people were saying this may arguably be the best backcourt in Lakers history with Kobe Bryant and Steve Nash. The Lakers may start tonight. Darius Morris and Andrew Gowlock, which may be the worst
D-League MVP.
starting backcourt
MVP.
in the history of LA sports. I mean, that is terrible. But we'll throw it to you guys. What is the percentage chance you think the Lakers will win this series, come back and win this series? And if they don't, will they at least avoid a sweep? Make sure to comment below, like this video, and subscribe to our channel. My name is David Brickley, alongside Jason Rowley, STNTV. Thanks for watching. Why don't we keep the ball rolling? You want to be entertained a little bit more? Why don't you click the video below? Jason, are you not going to promote the video below you? Jesus. All right, listen. Also, click the video below, Jason. That's another great piece of work. We both agree that you need to subscribe to our channel. You guys know the drill. What is wrong with you? Would you say something? Say something.